So the first one, round off each of the following numbers to the nearest 10. So like I said before, rounding off to the nearest 10 means you find the closest multiple of 10. So for example, if you consider 33, and if you consider the closest multiples of 10 for 33, you get 30 here and 40 here. So the mid value is 35. So which means you get 33 somewhere here. So this would be 33. If that is 33, you can look at the distance. Look at the distance, which is more closer to 33. That is obviously 30. So 30 is more closer. So that means 30 is what you get when you round 33 to the nearest 10. So your answer should be 30. Then 247. So say 247. So this is number line method. You can use the number line to round numbers to the nearest 10. Another method is to look at the place value. So when you round to the nearest 10, first you will look at the tens column. It is a 4. Then you look at the digit to the right hand side, which is 7, the ones column. So if the ones column is less than 5, if it is less than 5, you round down. You round down. If it is more than or equal to 5, you round up. You round up. So here it is more than 5. So therefore we round up. So when you round up, you look at the next multiple of 10. So the next multiple of 10 is 250. You get 250 as the answer for the number when you round it to the nearest 10. So write this down if you need an explanation. So next you have 3008. So 3008 to the nearest 10 would be 3010. So that is a multiple of 10. Then 59, the closest multiple of 10 is 60. The closest multiple of 10 for 360 is 310. The closest multiple of 10 for 4010 is 4010 itself, because 4010 itself is a multiple of 10. Then for 85, it is 90. 1514, it would be 1510. Because 4 is less than 5, so you round down. When you round down, you go to the previous multiple of 10, which is 1510. Then we have 1895. So which would give you 1895. So 5 is more than, or you can consider it as 5 or more than 5. You round up. So here it is 5. So which means you need to round up. When you round up, you get the next multiple of 10. That is 1900. Then 12,345. So the 5 is a number we need to round up. So therefore, when you round up, you get 12,350. 12,350. Next, we have 234,532. So 234,532. So 32 is more closer to 30. So therefore, this is 530. Then 997,290. So these are the numbers that you get when you round these numbers to the nearest 10. So next, the height of the mountain Pidur Dalagala is 2,524 meters. Round off this number to the nearest 10. So if you round off this number to the nearest 10, so it is 2,524 meters. When you round this number to the nearest 10, you will be getting 2,000. So let's check. So you have 4. So first you consider, you look at the tens column, it is 2. Then you move on to the ones column, it is 4. So 4 is less than 5, so you round down. When you round down, you move to the previous multiple of 10. So that is 2,520. 2,520. So 2,520 meters is the height of the Pidur Dalakala mountain. Then write every whole number which when rounded off to the nearest 10 is equal to 140. So you need to find out all the numbers that would give you 140 when you round all those numbers to the nearest 10. So I'll give you 1 minute to think. So just think, and you can write it. You may have already written in your exercise books. Also, I can give you another 1 minute to think. So let's see. So I hope you would have got the numbers that would give you 140 when you round those numbers to the nearest 10. So let's see. So 135 would be the first number that would give you 140 when you round it to the nearest 10. Then 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 144. So all these numbers would give you 140 if you round these numbers to the nearest 10. Next, write every whole number which when rounded off to the nearest 10 is equal to 80. So write every whole number which when rounded off to the nearest 10 is equal to 80. So it is similar to the previous question. So the previous one, it was 114. So now it says to round, to find the numbers that would give you 80 when you round them to the nearest 10. So 80 means you can start with 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, and that's it. Up to 84, you can get 80 as the rounded number to the nearest 10. Next, what is the smallest whole number which when rounded off to the nearest 10 is 80? So the smallest whole number will be 75. 75 is the smallest whole number that would give you 80 when you round it to the nearest 10. Then what is the largest whole number which when rounded off to the nearest 10 is 80? So that is 84. So 84 is the largest number, whole number, which when rounded off to the nearest 10 is 80. So that is question number 4. In question number 5, when a certain number is rounded off to the nearest 10, the number 260 is obtained. Find separately the least and the greatest value that this number can take. So they have only asked you to find the least and the greatest value that they can get if you round a number to get 260, the nearest 10. So let's see. 260 is what you need to get. So if you consider 255, that will give you 260. But if you get 254, it doesn't give you 260, it will give you 250. So this is wrong. 254 doesn't come. That is 250, that will give you 260. So that 255 is the least number. So the least value is 255. Then the greatest value. So the greatest value is 264. If you have 265, it will give you 270 when you round it to the nearest 10. So that wouldn't work. So greatest value is 264. It is 264. So next one, rounding off to the nearest 100 or 1000. So rounding off to the nearest 100 or to the nearest 1000 is defined in the same way that rounding off to the nearest 10 was defined. So, for example, so you can write down this. So rounding off to the nearest 10, representing a number by a multiple of 10, which is nearest to it, is known as rounding off to the nearest 10. Rounding off to the nearest 10. Similarly, you can write down for nearest 100 and 1000. For nearest 100, you can write down here. Rounding a number to by the multiple of 10. Instead of 10, you have 100, which is nearest to it, is known as rounding off to the nearest 100. Then for 1000, rounding a number by a multiple of 1000, which is nearest to it, is known as rounding off to the nearest 1000. So both are similar to finding rounding off to the nearest 10. So for example, the number 7346 is between the two multiples of 100, which is 7300 and 7400, and is closer to 7300 than 7400 because 46 is less than 50. 46 is less than 50, so it means you round down, it is 7400, I mean 7300. Therefore, when 7346 is rounded off to the nearest 100, we obtain 7300. Similarly, if we round off 7675 to the nearest 100, we obtain 7700. Because 75 is more than 50. In general, if we round off a number from 7300 to 7400, 7300 to 7349, both included, to the nearest 100, we obtain 7300. And if we round off a number from 7350 to 7400, both included, to nearest 100, we obtain 7400. So that is what we need to understand. Now let us consider how to round off numbers to the nearest 1000. For example, when 41,873 is rounded off to the nearest 1000, we obtain 42,000 because 873 is greater than 500. So if it is to the nearest 1000, you consider 500, the last 3 digits, up to the thousands column. So if it is greater than 500, you round up. 500 or greater, you round up. If it is less than 500, you round down. So here it is greater. So therefore, it is next multiple of 1000, that is 42,000. The reason for this is because 41,873 is closer to 42,000 than 41,000. It must be clear to you by this time what occurs when we round off numbers. Now let us consider a method that can be used to round off numbers easily. So there's a method which can be used easily to find out the numbers. So let us round off 2425 to the nearest 100. The two multiples of 100 between 2425 lies 2400 and 2500. The value of 2425 is less than the value of 2450, which is exactly at the center between these two multiples of 100. So therefore 2425 is closer to 2400 than 2500. So we can represent it using a number line like I used to explain you before. So 2400, 2500. This is the middle value, which is 2450. So you will mark 2425 here, which is more closer to 2400 than 2500. So this will be the closest number. So that is 2400 is the answer. Then accordingly, 2425 is rounded off to the nearest 10. We obtain 2400. Similarly, you can get for 2485, it would be more than 2450. So therefore, the distance very much closer to 2485 is 2500. So that will be the answer. Similarly, 2450. So that is exactly the middle, exactly the mid value. So that is equal value. So although it is equal distance to other two multiples of 100, what we need to do is we have to get the next multiple of 100. So that is very important. Although it is to the next, it is to the exact midway, we consider the next multiple of 100, that is 2500. So let us round 2485 to the nearest 1000. So now we need to round it to the nearest 1000. So 1000 means you need to have 1000 gap between these two numbers. So that is, you will have 2000, then 3000. So those are the closest multiple of 2485. So the mid value will be 2500 and 2485 will be here. So which is very much closer to 2000. So 2000 will be the answer if you round it to the nearest 1000. If you round 2754, 2754, it is more closer to 3000. So therefore 3000 will be the answer. Accordingly, when 2754 is rounded off to the nearest 1000, we obtain 3000. Let us round 12,500 to the nearest 1000. So 500 is exactly midway. So if it is exactly midway, you get the next multiple of 1000, which is 13,000. So this is how we round numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000. I hope you all understood how to round these numbers to the nearest 10, 100, and 1000. So you can now try to work out exercise 13.5. Write down the question and then the answer. I will give you some time now. Use this time to work out the questions, and we can discuss it after. So I hope you would have got the answers for each of these questions. So let's check one by one. Exercise 30.5. So round off each of the following numbers to the nearest 100. So if it is 100, you can look at the tens column. You always look at the tens column. If it is more than 5 or 5, you round up. If it is less than 5, you round down. So this is 5. So 5 means 100. You go to the next multiple of 100, which is 100. Then 195. If you're rounding to the nearest 100, you look at the tens column. The tens column is more than 5, so you round up, which is 200. If it is 1009, you look at the tens column, which is 0, so less than 5. So you round down. When you round down, it is the previous multiple of 100, which is 1000. Then we have 2985. You look at the tens column. It is greater than 5, so you round up. When you round up, you move to the next multiple of 100, which is 3000, because you add 1 with 9, so that will be carried to the next column 1000, which is 3000. Next we have 72,324. So you look at the tens column, it is less than 5, so you round down. When you round down, it will be 72,300. 72,300. Next, we have 7,550, which is when you look at the tens column, we have 5. So it is round up, so you get 7,600. Then you round off each of the following numbers to the nearest 1000. So nearest 1000 means you will be looking at the hundreds column. You need to look at the hundreds column. So 1927. The hundreds column is more than 5. So you move to the next multiple of 1000. Then 2433. You look at the hundreds column, which is 4. It is less than 5. Less than 5 means previous multiple of 1000, which is 2000. Then 19,999. You look at the hundreds column, which is greater than 5. So greater means next multiple of 1000, which is 20,000. Then you have 45,874. So 5 is, so you need to look at the hundreds column, which is 8. 8 is greater than 5. So you move to the next multiple of 1000, which is 46,000. Then 38,000. So 38,000, you have 0 in the thousands column. So which means you round down. So rounding down would give you the same answer, 38,000. So 38,000 is the same answer for 38,000. Then 90,500. So you look at the hundreds column. It is 5 or more. You round up. So 91,000. 91,000. It should be 91,000. Then the number of students in a school is 2,059. Round off this number to the nearest 10. So 2,059. To the nearest 10, you look at the ones column. It is more than 5. So you move on to the next multiple of 10, which is 2,060. That is the first question. The next question, round to the nearest 100. So 100 means you look at the tens column. So 10 is 5 or more, you round up. So when you round up, it will be, you'll be getting the next multiple of 100, which is 2100. 2100. So next, you round it to the nearest 1000. Thousands mean you look at the hundreds column. So earlier you looked at the tens column. So this is tens column, this is ones column, this is hundreds column. So for 1000, you need to look at the hundreds column. It is 0, which is less than 5. So you round down. When you round down, you get 2000. And that is the answer. Next question. When a number is rounded off to the nearest 100, the number 4500 is obtained. What is the smallest whole number it could be? So 4500 means to the nearest 100. So to the nearest 100 means the previous 100. So the previous 100 would be 4400. So let's check the middle value. So middle value will be 4450. So if it is 4450, it is rounded up to 4500 to the nearest 100. But if it is 4449, which is one less than this, you round down to 4049. So they are asking the smallest number. So that is 4450. Smallest number will be 4450. Then they ask the largest whole number it could be. So largest means it has to move this way. So 4550 will be giving you 4600. So one less than 4550 would be 4549. If it is 49, the tens column is 4. So it is rounding down. So rounding down means 4500. So this is the number. So the largest number would be 4549. And that is the answer.